Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Vintage Cube draft. I'm having so much fun playing this. So in this pack, the question is, what do we take? There's only a couple of good green cards here. We've got Courser, we've got Endurance. Not super huge on anything in particular in this pack. I think the play is to take Prismatic Vista and try and stay open. Because Prismatic Vista we can play in theoretically any deck and it's going to be somewhat decent. So let's go for Prismatic Vista. Alright, hopefully we get a little better idea of what we should be doing as the packs go on. So if we wanted to do like a mono-red strategy, Chain Lightning... Well, Chain Lightning is just a decent removal spell, period. There's also a Beaumont Courier. Soccer Tribe Elder. We could take Brainstorm. Brainstorm is good with any fetch, and that includes Prismatic Vista. Generally, let's see, I just passed a Treasure Cruise. I was going to say, generally, I think Chain Lightning is going to be better than Brainstorm in the average deck that we would draft. I'm going to take the Chain Lightning. Okay. If I had taken Brainstorm, I'd probably take Spell Pierce here. But we've got the Wandering Emperor, which is a very good Magic card. We could take Sulfuric Vortex if we wanted to try and go mono-red. There's Green Sun Zenith. Like, nothing else is really shouting out at me, hey, take this card. Like, I could take Colonnade or Temple Garden, but I'm going to take Sulfuric Vortex. Okay. There's a Goblin Guide. There's a Bitter Blossom, Birgi. There's, like, Smokestack. I think we just take the Goblin Guide. Bitter Blossom is very good. It's not super great if you're playing Sulfuric Vortex, but I think Mono-Red might be open this draft. And I continue to see that as the case. So Duretti can do some broken artifact things. I think this is probably a Glorybringer deck more than anything else. I'd take Steam Vents if there was no Glorybringer in this pack, probably. But yeah, let's take a Glorybringer. It's good. It's fantastic top end for a mono-red deck, especially if you get like Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, any way to like boost it out. Mono-red and mono-white are two of the best decks in the Vintage Cube format. They're generally pretty open, mono-white more so than mono-red. But the reason, like, they become the best when you start to gain access to fast mana. With the exception of, like, Maximum Power Storm. So, like, because mono-red is really fast, it's very broken, same with mono-white. But when you start to get, like, jumping way ahead on the curve, or playing Thalias or something on turn 1, you start to do something that, you know, you accelerate what's already fast to something that's lightning speed. Not thinking Hallowed Fountain or Portent. I'll just take Unholy Heat. It's pretty decent creature removal. I wouldn't play it as highly as I would play, like, you know, Lightning Bolt or anything like that, especially not in a mono-red deck, but we will play it. I could take Grim Monolith, and maybe we could do, like, a big red situation, kind of like that. Alternatively, we could start going into, like, Is It? And I could take, like, a Vendilion Click here. But I kind of like the Grim Monolith. Okay, not a huge fan of Desperate Ritual in mono-red. Like, you can use this as a way to accelerate into stuff like Goblin Guide or Chandra. I think I'm going to take PN Kirin. I could take Mutavault. Mutavault's not a bad pick at all, especially if you are monocolored. But I like PN Kirin just a little bit more than I like Mutavault here. Yeah, we could have very easily gone like Is It Control or Jeskai Control. If Nahiri comes around, we can do like Big Boros. We got options. Okay, Avalanche Riders or Intrepid Adversary. Intrepid Adversary is a 2-mana 3/1 with lifelink. I kind of like Avalanche Riders a little bit more. We could also take Sword of Feast and Famine. I'm going to take Avalanche Riders. Blowing up lands is fun. For me, not for the opponent. We've got Ravages of War, Mindslaver, Olivia Crimson Bride, who I think is relatively underpowered for this format. I'll take Ravages of War. If there's a second color that I'm going to be splashing, it's probably white. I mean, you know, you can always play like mono red splash Ancestral Recall or splash Time Walk if that becomes an option for you in this format, right? But like, if we're not doing something like that and we're not playing like Is It Tempo or something like that, we're probably splashing white for the other aggressive cards it gives us access to. And like, you know, if you can play a fast Thalia, if you can play a turn 1 Thalia, it's generally very good in this cube. I'm going to say the same thing about Pyretic Ritual that I said about Desperate Ritual. I mean, I think Dark Confidant's still in the cube. I could take Imperial Seal. Yeah, I'm probably going to take Imperial Seal. I don't know that I'm playing Imperial Seal. I guess Bitter Blossom came all the way around. Well, you know, it is an aggressive card. I did just play Rakdos, but I don't think this is going to be a Reanimator deck. We can take this Duretti. Probably not playing that Duretti. Silverblade Paladin. Necromancy going late. So probably... well, we saw Shallow Grave too, so nobody's playing Reanimator in this current draft. Okay, so I think the pick is Mana Crypt. I would love Chandra, Torch of Defiance, Sword of Fire and Ice, but I think Mana Crypt opens you up to doing more broken stuff. And I was just talking about how Mono Red becomes one of the better decks when it gets access to fast mana acceleration. Generally more when you get like Mox Ruby or Mox Pearl. But yeah, I think Mana Crypt is better in Mono Red than Sol Ring is, but only slightly. I'm going to take Probe. Probe is like a free prowess trigger for any of your creatures that are going to have prowess. It can, you know, just draw you a card, be a free card in the deck's pretty good. I wouldn't mind Sword or Fiery Islet if they came around, but I'm going to take the Probe. Seeing less red cards going this direction. Mind Twist, if we start with like fast mana into Mind Twist, empty our opponent's hand, it's pretty good. We can take Skull Clamp and do a Bitter Blossom Skull Clamp things. That's also really good. Oh man. I want to take Mind Twist. Mind Twist is fun. I kind of want to do Skull Clamp Bitter Blossom things, though. Oh, I'm going to take the Skull Clamp. We'll see what happens. Okay, in this pack there is a Grief. There is a Restoration Angel. And there's a Solitude. That's really about it for us. I think I'm going to take the Grief. Grief's just like good Magic card. We're not doing black-white. Ephemerate is in this cube. I saw it in a previous draft today. But we're probably not playing white. Not seeing a lot of red, so red's kind of like drying up a little bit, which is sad to see. Arid Mesa, I wouldn't mind having another red fetch because, you know, if we get a Badlands, our deck gets a lot better. But I am going to take an Umezawa's Jitte because that card is great. Yeah, the card's absolutely fantastic. I do need to start getting more creatures. There's a Basalt Monolith. I don't know that we need to go that big on mana. I will take a Lightning Bolt, though. You never have too many Lightning Bolts in a deck like this. This is not Nuna's Prowler deck. This is not really a Gilded Lotus deck. Oath of Druids is fun, but I think this is a Liliana the Last Hope deck. So I totally did not mean to draft Rakdos again, but it seems to be what's open. If I was still seeing more blue, I would take Snapcaster, because like Bolt, Snapcaster Bolt is pretty huge. Thundermaw is just good, and we have some broken acceleration, so I'm going to take Thundermaw. Love me some big Durgans. They're fun. Oh man, we can totally like Mana Crypt Grim Monolith turn 1 Avalanche Riders and just do some awful things. Oh, that's great. That is fantastic. Okay, so Inquisition of Kozilek, Dak Faden. I think we go Inquisition here. Reanimator's wide open. Putrid Imp's like coming all the way around. This is probably not a Steamkin deck because we're going to have a lot of black spells too, and that makes Steamkin a lot worse. I think I'm going to take the Visionary. I'm not a huge fan of this card. I played it a lot in Limited because I played a lot of Crimson Vow Limited because for me it was really fun, but everybody hated the set. Like nobody played that set. Nobody opened any boxes. You can still find like Crimson Vow booster boxes for like nothing. I will take a Bone Shards. Bone Shards is good. This is like shaping up to be very similar to the last deck I played. If I'm playing any of these, I'm playing Tanglewire, but I'm probably not playing any of these. Hana and Elena is very good. If they stick around on board for even just a little bit, your creatures get very huge. But we're not playing green. We're gonna need a lot of help in pack 3, that's for sure. We have Mana Crypt with Grim Monolith. I could theoretically play a Grave Titan. I think Bloodchief's Thirst is the actual pick, though, so I'm going to take Bloodchief's Thirst. He says getting a Dark Ritual. Alright. Should have taken the Grave Titan. I'm probably not actually playing Dark Ritual, but... I mean, we can turn 1 Liliana with it. So if we get, like, Liliana the Veil, then we have, like, 2 great turn 1 plays. I would like some Rakdos fixing, so, like, Badlands, Blood Crypt, any other red fetch. Okay, there's Thoughtseize, Fire Blast, Eidolon of the Great Revel, Animate Dead. So, Eidolon of the Great Revel is fantastic if you're playing mono red, because, you know, we could, like, just having the Pyrostatic Pillar effect is very strong. I think I take Thoughtseize, though, for this deck. Because, like, multiple discard spells become very powerful in a deck like this, and for that reason, I'm definitely taking Kroxa. Like, Abbott is very good, but Abbott might wheel. If we do, like, turn 1, Inquisition you, turn 2, Kroxa, like, we can do some pretty nasty stuff this way. Plus, we do need some creatures. We also have Grief. Alright. I do like Zealous Conscripts. I would splash for Kaito, possibly. Firebolt would be great, but we need the fixing so bad. We have double black, double red everywhere, so I will take the Blackcleave Cliffs. The good news about Blackcleave Cliffs for us is we are a deck that's relatively low to the ground, which means we probably shouldn't be playing Mana Crypt, but because Mana Crypt, Sulfuric Vortex, Bitter Blossom in the same deck with no way to answer any of them is like you're going to die to your own stuff very quickly. But if we can just do something broken fast enough, you know, we'll be fine. I may not end up playing Sulfuric Vortex because of that, though. If I end up playing against another deck with Oko, I absolutely would side it in. But okay, I do like Wheel of Fortune. I do like Fatal Push, Crypt Breaker. This is like the end of pack 3, and I do not have enough creatures. So I think I have to take Crypt Breaker. I would love Fatal Push. I would love Faithless Looting. Wheel of Fortune is not as good in this deck. Yeah, I'm going to take Crypt Breaker. Crypt Breaker it's a card that just makes a bunch of zombies. It turns like excess lands we draw into good stuff. It can draw you cards in the late game if you're in like this weird dirtly position. I really like Crypt Breaker as a card. Like, it's a card that I want to be good in like Modern, but it's just not because it's way too slow, unfortunately. Bone Crusher Giant is kind of the perfect card for this deck, so I will be taking a Bone Crusher Giant. I don't remember seeing Young Pyro this draft. I think I saw Sedgemoor Witch, but this is probably a Koth pick. Collective Brutality is a little more mediocre than I want. Sad we did not get Chandra. Maybe I should have taken Chandra, but like Mana Crypt is so good. It's less good in this deck than the Soul Ring we had last time because we have less top end. Underworld Breach is a messed up Magic card. I'm glad to see that it's in this format again. This is definitely a Dragon's Rage Channeler deck, though, for sure. Would not mind a Sunbaked Canyon, but this is not a Mana Flare deck. This is not a Golos deck. This could be a Bone Shredder deck. Carrion Feeder is a zombie for Crypt Breaker. I guess we do have Bitter Blossom tokens, but I'm not sure that that's good. I'm drafting a very weird deck right now. Let's take Carrion Feeder. I think we can take Fire Blast as like a finisher spell. We should have enough mountains. Abbott, very good here. Great in an aggressive deck. Especially with a curve that's this low. I don't think we're playing any of these. I can take Vampire Hexmage, but I don't think we're playing it. Faithless Looting. The only card that we really want in the grave is Kroxa, but Faithless Looting can be very good in decks like this, where if you just like sandbag lands, it can help you get past your lands. Manamorphose is a free card. Unfortunately, we really only have one prowess creature, and that's Abbott. But it technically fixes your mana. I think that was the original intent of this card. That is not how it is played, but, you know, we'll just use cards as intended. This is not an Ignite Memories deck. Unfortunately, I didn't even see Ephemerate before, but, like, I guess I will take Ephemerate, but we're not playing it because I have no white fixing at all. I guess I have Prismatic Vista, but okay. So let's set these in a pile and look at what we're dealing with here. So I think because of the relative lack of creatures, I have to play basically all of these. I can probably cut one if there's one that I think is not that great. I don't think we need Grim Monolith. Like, it does help accelerate into... Maybe we do need to play Grim Monolith, just because I do have so many 4 and 5 drops. But my curve is so low. I'm going to be playing Mana Crypt, because it's effectively an Ancient Tomb of sorts. But... I don't know. I think I could have gone a little bit deeper into Mono Red, taken that Eidolon of the Great Revel. Okay, I don't think I'm playing Dark Ritual. Dark Ritualing out like a Liliana is fun, but I don't think it's going to be good. I am going to probably not play Probe. Maybe I will. We'll see. I think I'm going to cut Sulfuric Vortex. I don't have any way to gain life. I do, damn it. I'm really hesitant to play Sulfuric Vortex and Mana Crypt in the same deck, for reasons that I hope are obvious. I also have, like, Thoughtseize, Bitter Blossom, you know, just all the life payment in the world. I guess Grief is not that good. It's a 4-mana 3/2 that Thoughtseizes when it enters. That might be pretty decent. Okay, Skull Clamp and Bitter Blossom are definitely in the deck. Unholy Heat is a good Delirium removal spell. We do have Bolt, Chain Lightning. Actually, maybe I do need to be playing Sulfuric Vortex just to give myself some reach. I don't know. That's kind of debatable. Carrion Feeder is kind of good with Bitter Blossom, and Crypt Breaker is good if the game goes long. Don't think I actually want Crypt Breaker, though. I don't have a ton of cards I want in the grave, so I actually think I'm going to cut Bone Shards. We're not doing, like, super heavy prowess stuff. We have Abbott as a prowess payoff, and it's nice for stuff like Dragon's Rage Channeler to help get deeper into our deck, but I'm not sure that I need to be playing, like, Manamorphose. I think I'm also going to cut Bloodchief's Thirst. I have several different things I can do to rearrange. I want my removal to go to face as much as possible. I think in that regard I'm also going to drop Unholy Heat, and I'm going to play Probe in its place. Yeah, okay. I think we have a deck. No islands. Only swamps. Does that seem reasonable? I probably should cut one more card and play another land. Especially having 5 drops, but I have Mana Crypt. I'm counting Mana Crypt as a land. Alright, I'll see you guys in game 1. Alrighty. Yeah, I think this hand is keepable. We will be fetching a mountain off Prismatic Vista and running out of Goblin Guide, I think. Okay, now we can save Prismatic Vista and see if we need double red or double black first. But play Goblin Guide. Opponent reveals a Monastery Mentor. That's kind of scary. Opponent runs out a Boros Signet. We draw another mountain, so play a Swamp, play a Bitter Blossom, and attack for 2. Opponent reveals Gidgeon, ally of Zendikar. They play Gideon. They make a knight. We untap, lose a life, get a fairy. Play a mountain. That's not actually what I meant to do, but probe them. We draw another mountain. So they have Skyclave Apparition, Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. So they can Skyclave to kill Bitter Blossom. That is not good. I think I have to Chain Lightning this Knight token. I have so many lands in hand. I think what I'm going to do is Chain Lightning the Knight, Fire Blast Gideon, because I can't have Gideon sticking around and win. And then just attack. Yeah, can't say I'm a fan. Attack our opponent for 2. They draw planes off that. God, it would be so much better next turn because we could at least play Pia and Kieran first. Problem is if they uptick Gideon, it no longer works, and they at least get a creature out of it. I'm gonna do this now. I don't think this is actually a good idea. I think I'm probably gonna lose because of this. Okay, opponent plays planes. Here comes Skyclave Apparition to take my Bitter Blossom. We untap and draw Avalanche Riders. Play a mountain, go to combat, attack, attack. Opponent reveals a Hollowed Fountain. So you guys remember in the last Vintage Cube draft where I had a Goblin Guide attack me like 5 times and I never drew a land? And I attacked 3 times with Goblin Guide and my opponent draws 3 lands. It's just like, yeah, opponent, Ancestral Recall targeting you. No problem. Alright, opponent hardcasts a Riftwing Cloudskate, gets rid of my 2/2. Oh, this is not looking good for me, folks. We draw Liliana the Last Hope. Does that do anything? I guess technically it does. So let's fetch up a Swamp. Play Liliana, and just try and ult her as fast as possible. If we draw a mountain, we can play Pia and Kieran to protect her. Or they can just animate Colonnade and she dies. That's... yeah, I should have thought about that. Okay, so Liliana's down. Completely toast. How do we win? I think the answer is we don't. So, we're going to next game. I think what this means is we are playing Sulfuric Vortex. I think we're playing Bone Shards and Blood Chief's Thirst. Vampire Hexmage can actually kill Planeswalkers, and so can Unholy Heat. This is going to be a pretty dramatic reconfiguration of this deck. I'm going to cut Faithless Looting. I'm going to cut Probe. I don't actually think I'm going to bring in Sulfuric Vortex. Change my mind on that one. These 3 can stay. And I think I'm actually going to cut Avalanche Riders. Opponent's fixing seemed pretty good. Let's try like this. I probably should have changed my land counts. Thinking about that. So I can Thought Seize and I can Grief and have no cards in hand. I'm actually going to mulligan that. This is way better. This is infinitely better. I am keeping this. And I think I'm going to put back Carrion Feeder. So the plan here is to play out a Liliana and use this burn to have some protection for her. Opponent starts on a Tundra. No respect for Wasteland. We're going to cast Kroxa. Attacks our opponent's hand a little bit. Opponent discards Dismember. They play planes. They play a Soulfire Grandmaster. We draw Bone Shards. So play Liliana, shrink the Grandmaster, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Hollowed Fountain tapped. We untap, we draw Pia and Kieran. Uptick on Soulfire Grandmaster. Pass the turn. We're looking for an opportunity to Unholy Heat or Bone Crusher Giant to kill it. Gideon. This is fine. So Gideon's going to make a token. Opponent's going to pass. So we are going to stomp Soulfire Grandmaster. Untap. And we will shrink the Knight. Play Dragon's Rage Channeler. And Bone Shards to kill Gideon, ditching Mom and Pop. Black Cleave Cliffs, I'm going to go ahead and put in the grave for Delirium. Even though I do want a second red source, the game plan right now is to just get this Liliana to ult. Hopefully my opponent does not have a Riftwing Cloud Skate to bounce Lily back to my hand. That'd be very unfortunate. Okay, we draw a mountain. Shrink the Knight. Play Bone Crusher. Pass the turn. No attacks. And opponent scoops. Liliana too strong. Alright. Yeah, I think we stay set up as we are. Let's run it back. Still should probably adjust my land count, but... Okay, no threats. We got an Inquisition, though. And some removal. Opponent did mulligan to 6. Opponent starts Hallowed Fountain tapped. We draw Voltaic Visionary. That's something to play on turn 2. Inquisition take their only play for what seems like years. Opponent plays an island. We draw Mana Crypt, which we do not need right now. Play Voltaic Visionary. Opponent floats double blue. Brazenly borrows. We untap and draw a mountain. Play Visionary. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. So they're getting very close to Baneslayer mana. And we draw Glorybringer, which is not useful against... not useful at all against Baneslayer Angel. Okay, so... Let's see. Prismatic Vista will crack it. This gets a land into the grave. The way that we're going to deal with Baneslayer is probably Unholy Heat. We do need a second swamp. I'm actually going to draw a card here with Voltaic Visionary. Oh, sweet. Please resolve. I should have probably played out Mana Crypt to play around a miscalc. The Wandering Emperor. Okay. Well, they can exile Voltaic Visionary. But this deals with their Baneslayer Angel. Winds of Abandon. Okay, we do have to care about Winds of Abandon. Yeah, take Baneslayer. And unfortunately, I cannot... I should have played out Mana Crypt so I could deal with this, but I didn't know. Alright, pass the turn. Please, please do not get greedy on that Winds of Abandon. Just... Oh, okay. Yeah, that works for me. We can... They're 2 mana away from overloading, so I can just Glorybringer and Exert. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Glorybringer. Go to combat. They path Glorybringer. Okay. Get a swamp, I guess. Go to combat. Kill the Wandering Emperor. Because Menace. Opponent attacks us for 4. We go to 13. Opponent plays a Soulfire Grandmaster. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher Giant, which is very good here. So we start with Abbott. We exile Jite, which is fantastic. Play Jite. And our opponent scoops. Whoo! Alright. Hey, we're 1-0. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alrighty. Welcome back to round 2, and I think this is a hand we can keep. I'm going to lead with Inquisition. Let's get an idea what's going on over there. Oh, it's us, but slightly better, I think. Okay. Opponent only has 1 mana, so I think what I'm going to do is take Probe. And pass the turn. This way we can Chain Lightning to deal with the Swift Spear, and if our opponent doesn't draw a land for a couple of turns, they will be hurting pretty badly. Especially if we end up drawing a creature that we can equip Jite to. That would be fantastic. Opponent plays Swift Spear. Hits us for 1. We go to 19. We untap, we draw a mountain. That's actually really good for us. So, Chain Lightning. We're gonna kind of play a control deck. Opponent did draw a second mana, so they have Incinerate now. We draw a second Swamp, which is actually super huge. Let's go ahead and play Jite. Pass the turn. They Incinerate our face, which is fantastic, because that means Incinerate is not going to kill Grief. Char might, but... Opponent is going to play an Imperial Recruiter, and they get a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Now, if we can... Oh boy. Okay, so... We cast Grief... And depending on what the last card in their hand is, if we take Char and they can't answer Grief, this game is over. Okay, so if I take Char, they can play Koth, but I don't think Koth is actually going to matter all that much. So let's take Char. So let's go for it. Pass the turn, Scott Menace. I mean, they could like Koth downtick, or they could Koth uptick, play Dragon's Rage Channeler double block, I guess. But we could Faithless Looting into something. So they play an island. And they play Koth. They downtick to play Abbot. They exile a Goblin Guide. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Then they can attack me for 2. Or they can play around a removal spell by not attacking. They attack and reveal Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, so they know what we're drawing. I'm going to Faithless Looting here. I don't think Thoughtseize is going to be very good. Neither is Avalanche Riders. I would really, really like to hit a Bolt. We know what's in their hand, but we are going to still probe them. Voltaic Visionary. Nope. We'll just equip, go to combat, and attack Koth. So, opponent has to double block. Okay. So, Grief trades off with their guys. Jite gains 2 counters. And then we play Dragon's Rage Channeler. Pass the turn. Opponent plays their own Dragon's Rage Channeler, which we knew about. They did not untap their tapped mountain, which is confusing to me. It confuses and infuriates us! Oh, man. I'm having a great time. Hope y'all are having a great time. Okay, opponent attacks us for 6. We have a Carrion Feeder on top of our deck. An opponent is passing, so kill Dragon's Rage Channeler. Untap, we draw Carrion Feeder. So equip Dragon's Rage Channeler. Go to combat. Attack Koth. Pump Dragon's Rage Channeler. Opponent did not draw a removal spell, thank goodness. Play Voltaic Visionary. Jite is a messed up Magic card. That is not something anyone should have to deal with. I have been on the receiving end of many Jites in my life, and it's never been good. Alright. Opponent is going to combat. They do not attack. We untap. We draw Bone Crusher Giant, which makes my job easy. We get to Surveil. Mountain. Put in the grave. We don't really want to draw another one. Okay. Go to combat. Attack for 4. And now we can just start stacking up a whole bunch of Jite counters. Like, so good. So good. Just like any creature they play is already dead. Oh, this is fun for me. I'm having a good time. I haven't had this much fun playing Magic in like a year. So Opponent is either sandbagging lands, or they've got a Wrath or something. Oh, opponent conceded. We drew Koth, so I mean, like... Whew! I think we need Unholy Heat versus our opponent's deck. Bone Shards, Bloodchief's Thirst is both good, but Unholy Heat is an instant, which makes a ton of sense. Thoughtseize might be good in this matchup, because we can take like a Koth. On the same token, it might actually be really bad. I think I'm going to cut Probe, though. There's no reason for us to just lose life on Probe like that, so... Alright, let's do it. This is game 2. If we draw a Black Source... Actually, this hand's kind of awful. I think I am going to go to 6 here. This hand is much better. I will keep this hand. I'm going to put back a Swamp. Opponent also mulliganed to 6, so that's good news for us. They start with a Swift Spear, and they hit us for 1. I'm going to play a Mountain, so I do not play into a Wasteland. Opponent plays a Scalding Tarn, plays a Figure of Destiny. Figure of Destiny might be a problem. We do need to draw some things that are not lands. We get hit for 1. Okay, well, I'd like to draw Faithless Looting. So, I think we play Voltaic Visionary here. I might have to trade. So, they're gonna level up Figure on my end step, and they may just play a Mountain and level it up again. Okay, they got removal. That's really not good for me. I do not have many ways to regain life. I have tons of ways to lose life, not a lot of ways to regain life. So we're taking 4, going to 14. Okay, we can play Bitter Blossom, and we can play Carrion Feeder. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent is all gas. I don't know why they incinerated Carrion Feeder, because Carrion Feeder can't block. I think they would have been better off, especially after me playing a Bitter Blossom, just incinerating my face. I guess I could have some weird sack outlet combo, but, I mean, I don't. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's go. Hopefully, this works. I'll be stoked if it does. Oh, man, you have an Abrade? Oh. Yeah, I think, if I top deck, like, Glorybringer... If I top deck Glorybringer, and I can, like, kill Swift Spear with an Exert, then maybe... Well, my life total is very low, and I completely forgot about GT. Okay, Faithless Looting. Draw me some cards, Faithless Looting. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. Okay. Note to self, try to keep a hand that does something. Yeah, I think we're fine with no adjustments. We just need a hand that has some action in it. Ideally. I think Porter got scared by my dad coming back in the house. Alright, this is a hand. It's got stuff in it. Let's go. Go get him, Goblin Guide. Opponent draws a Mountain. That is not a good start. They play a Mountain, and they pass, discarding something. A Mountain. Okay. Okay. That could be a good sign, potentially. We go to combat. Attack for 2. Likely our opponent has a Bolt of some kind to kill Goblin Guide. Opponent draws a Mountain, because Goblin Guide hates me and everyone I've ever known. Play Dragon's Rage Channeler. Pass the turn, leave up Lightning Bolt. Opponent once again back to 9 cards in hand. They play a Mountain. They incinerate. I'm going to lightning bolt their face to manipulate my top deck. I do not want another mountain. Not right now, anyway. Okay, opponent is down to 13. We draw a mountain anyway. Okay, we can looting. Unholy Heat, Swamp, Swamp. This is kind of tough. I think the correct choice is discard Mountain, Swamp, and then just we have to try and draw another Swamp for grief. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, but... Okay, opponent reveals Figure of Destiny. Not a mountain. I think that is the first or second card that Goblin Guide has revealed for me that is not a mountain. Okay, opponent plays Figure. Opponent plays Dragon's Rage Channeler. And opponent is passing. Okay, on their end step, I'm going to Unholy Heat Figure of Destiny. Okay, we untap. We draw a Swamp. We will attack first, because if we put the last card type in the grave for Dragon's Rage Channeler, that is potentially a problem. Okay, opponent does not block. They go to 9. Very happy we drew that other Swamp. Okay, grief our opponent. Red Elemental Blast. I am not playing blue. Why are you playing Red Elemental Blast? Take Abbott. So we know our opponent's hand perfectly. They play a mountain. Here comes Koth with the Surveil. I probed. Did my opponent bring in Red Elemental Blast because I probed? Oh, man. Because I sided out. This does nothing. Oh, man. Got him, I guess. They can uptick on a mountain. They can even swing it at me if they want to. They animated the wrong mountain. They no longer have the option to swing. Really, Koth should be errated so that the mountain gains haste. Because, like, every other Planeswalker that does what he does here has that writer text just so that the this situation does not occur. We draw Blackcleave Cliffs. Let's flashback Faithless Looting. Ditch Prismatic Vista, Blackcleave Cliffs. Go to combat. And we will attack Koth, attack our opponent. They're revealing Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant is actually a huge boon to our opponent here. Really makes me wish I'd probably just attacked my opponent, but if Koth ults, it's game over. So they're going to Stomp Grief and then play a 4/3 and then untap a mountain into a 4/4. Yep, that sucks. Opponent did play a mountain, so we know their hand. I need to draw removal for Bone Crusher Giant. And I gotta draw removal for Bone Crusher Giant this turn. And I will be very, very sad if I do not. Okay, we take 4. Okay. Okay, I can maybe get behind this. This makes it so they lose whatever they block with. I mean, they'll just block with Dragon's Rage Channeler, but we get cards out of it. So attack Koth. Opponent reveals Chandra. Oh, God. Chandra. Chandra's so good. Why didn't we get Chandra? Yeah, I was going to say, with that, they don't even need to block. Okay. Alright, alright. Play Voltaic Visionary. Pass the turn. Man, like, what would even be good? Opponent plays Scalding Tarn. And here comes Chandra. Opponent gets to Surveil. They put Swift Spear into the grave. They fetch. I mean, they're upticking. They could just die to a Lightning Bolt. That is a distinct possibility. Yeah, they don't cast Probe. They just shoot us for 2. They have to attack with Dragon's Rage Channeler. Them losing that life, if we draw our Chain Lightning, they do die. Okay, Abbott. Abbott could draw us removal for Bone Crusher, I think. So let's start with Abbott. Okay, Mountain. Mountain's not bad. Go to combat. Attack with both creatures at our opponent. Opponent draws a Mutavault. They have to block with Bone Crusher. We have 6 draws to hit Chain Lightning and kill them. Okay. Opponent does this intelligently. They take 3. I'm going to... Am I going to clamp here? We've gone through half of our deck. We've not seen Chain Lightning. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, we did not find it. That may have been a mistake. At least if opponent like downticks Chandra, we are guaranteed to draw cards. Opponent plays a Sword of Feast and Famine. They have a Mutavault in hand. They get to Surveil. That shortens the clock against us. I think to 1 turn instead of 2. It may have been 1 turn anyway. Okay. At this point, we could draw Thundermaw Hellkite. We could draw Glorybringer. We could draw Chain Lightning. We can draw... There's a lot of things we can draw. And we have 3 draws. 3 draws to hit Chain Lightning. 1 draw to hit anything else. Possibly redraws with Skull Clamp. Ditch the Swamp. Opponent untaps their lands. Opponent is going to uptick Chandra, I think, for damage. They're debating about downticking on Goblin Guide, which I think is a mistake. They saw me... Yeah, I think opponent should not have done that. Oh, I am 1 mana away from this. Oh no, they're just dead! Oh, that was a perfect draw. They actually died. Because Avalanche Riders has haste for some ungodly reason. So we kill their only blocker, which happens to be a Mutavault. I should have Inquisitioned first, but I know what their last card in hand is. We equip with Skull Clamp because it gives +1/+1/-1 for some reason. And then we kill them. Awesome! Yeah, opponent should not have downticked there. Because I clamped a creature that would have forced them to downtick because I was desperate to draw cards. I think if I was in that position and I saw my opponent do that, my instinct would be he is trying to draw a 3 damage burn spell. And I think killing that creature gave me better odds of actually winning the game because of that. Now, Avalanche Riders won me the game. It was my top deck. They were dying anyway, but I think that was still a mistake. Anyway, we happen to be 2-0, so see you guys in round 3. This is a lot of fun. Alrighty, welcome to round 3, everybody. And we're on the play, and we have Mana Crypt, and this is a turn 2 Avalanche Riders into a turn, or a turn 2 Koth. One of the two. And that's kind of a messed up thing to do in a game of Magic, so we're going to try it. I'm going to lead on a mountain and pass the turn. Opponent plays an island, probes us. Okay, so they get to see everything that's going on. We draw Fire Blast. So play a mountain, play a Mana Crypt. I think there's a decent chance my opponent has Daze. Ancestral Recall targeting themselves. I'll go with Avalanche Riders. Blow up their island. Hit them for 2. Now in a 9-card hand, they ought to have another land. Okay. Am I going to pay the Echo cost? They discarded Archon. No. I am going to say Tails for Mana Crypt. We win the flip, and we draw a Lightning Bolt. Doing this in this order, specifically so I don't animate the wrong mountain with Koth. I was playing around Daze specifically, but go to combat, hit them for 4. We have a ton of burn in hand, and if we actually alt Koth, which is looking like a real possibility, they're going to repeal Mana Crypt? Yeah, that's fine-ish. I mean, it draws them a card, but it stops us from having to deal with the flips and trying to take damage. Opponent demonic tutors for something. Are they dead? They're going to 1. They're at a virtual 1. Opponent demonic tutors for something that's supposed to be very good. Bolt you. Go to combat. Hit you for 4. Play a mountain. Pass the turn? Then we just alt-cough, fire blast, and then ping them to death. Shallow grave. Okay, that will kill Koth. An opponent will gain life. And we're going to discard Mana Crypt. Because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so opponent is out of the immediate danger zone. We just need to draw anything aggressive. Oh, they get to do this again. Discard Blackcleave Cliffs, I guess. Okay, they have to discard to hand size. Please don't be another big threat. Seagate Stormcaller. Tells me they probably have Time Walk. I should have discarded the Fire Blast. Alright. Opponent plays a land. Plays a Mox Ruby. Show and Tell. We'll put Croxa to play Grizzlebrand? Oh man, okay. Well, I don't know if my opponent saw Fire Blast or not. But if they pay 7 life, they lose. Yeah, there's no way they do it before they attack. None. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't think about it. Okay, we go to 1. Uh-huh. We're learning. We're learning more about our opponent's deck right now. We're going to flashback Ancestral Recall. That seems good. Necromancy. Okay. So they would reanimate Croxa or Avalanche Riders or something. Okay, you got me, opponent. That was much faster than I had hoped it would be. I think we do need Blood Chief's Thirst and Bone Shards to actually kill stuff that my opponent may or may not play. I'm going to drop Probe and I think Looting. Oh man, we were so close to beating him too. Alright, I would like to play first. This hand is slow, but if they kept a hand relying on Ancestral Recall or something like it, Inquisition should mess them up. Yep. So, this card is so good. We need to draw Mana Crypt. Okay, Bone Crusher's good. Bone Crusher gives us something to do literally all the way up the curve. Opponent's going to play Jace. He's going to immediately die. Then we get to play Bone Crusher Giant. If my opponent plays Swamp, I'm going to Stone Rain that with Avalanche Riders. Okay, opponent had a counterspell. That's fine. Hit them for 4. And they do have a Mystic Confluence, so they can, like, unsummon a bunch of creatures if they make it to 5 mana. Hopefully they cannot counterspell Thundermaw. Also, Thundermaw is such a sick card name. I love me some Thundermaw. I don't know if they played this island or not. I think they didn't. I think they're still holding. Yeah, best draw now is, like, I don't know, Koth. We get probed. I want to play as an island. Alright, go get them, Sparky. We hit them for 9. Opponent goes to 7. If they have a land, they can Mystic Confluence double unsummon, which I think is what they're going to do to stay alive. It'll be unsummon, unsummon, draw. Opponent takes 2 off Bone Crusher. We go to second main. Stomp them. Play a mountain to go play around Daze. Play Bone Crusher, pass the turn. Now we have a threat that they're going to have trouble dealing with, potentially. Thundermaw gets around that. Sick. Alright, we got there. They're not unbeatable. It's going to come down to game 3. As to whether or not we trophy. This might be the matchup where we want Sulfuric Vortex. Oh! We could totally... we could totally play Necromancy because they're trying to put cards in the grave. And this works at instant speed. Oh man, do we do that? That can't be good, right? Like, there's no way... I want to do it. If I could necromancy their own guy, it would be so sick. That's probably better than Carrion Feeder, if we're being honest. I'm gonna go for it. Okay, because Carrion Feeder's like just a 1/1 in almost every situation. This hand is very aggressive. If we draw a swamp, it's great. If we draw a mountain, it's good. We need to draw a land. We are on the draw. I think I am going to keep this just because of the amount of damage we can pump out very quickly. Okay, Koth is the opposite of a land. Well, they probably got a kill spell. Attack him for 2. Opponent entombs. Okay, that probably means we are toast. Okay, Jace. Get a Prismatic Vista. Go to combat. Wait a minute. Okay, they revealed Grizzlebrand off Goblin Guide, so they're going to be holding a Grizzlebrand. I was confused as to what I was actually seeing. Opponent drew an island. They don't block. They want to loot Grizzlebrand into the grave. I really need to fetch a swamp. I don't want to make them discard with Kroxa, actually. And I need to kill this Jace, so it's actually going to be a mountain. We're going to play Dragon's Rage Channeler, and we're going to Chain Lightning to kill Jace. We get to Surveil. Bone Crusher Giant is really good, but we kind of need to draw land, and we want to hit Delirium, so I'm actually going to put it in the... Okay. Opponent untaps. If they have like a Shallow Grave, we're probably donezo. Okay, we untap, we draw a mountain, play a mountain, go to combat, attack. Opponent reveals another island. Do I just bolt their face? You know what? Let's go for it. Lightning Bolt. Grief is a creature and gives us something to do. We can evoke Grief. I don't really want to draw it, though. I would rather draw something I can use to kill my opponent. We did get to Delirium. Oh no, turn off auto yields. Okay, cool. Play Dragon's Rage Channeler again, pass the turn. We just have to, like, dodge a reanimation spell. Draw Blood Chief's Thirst. Well, we're 2 black sources away from that doing anything. Attack for 5. They're drawing Una's Prowler. Snapcaster Repeal and block. That's pretty good. Not for us, but for them. They repeal Dragon's Rage Channeler. They trade with Goblin Guide. Played Dragon's Rage Channeler. Pass the turn. I think they're missing a reanimation spell. We have to dodge them drawing a reanimation spell until we kill them. Because the instant they get back Archon or Grizzlebrand, like unless I draw Swamp and Necromancy prior to them, which I just don't think is going to happen. 3 mana. Oh, that's a problem. Because he can ninjutsu in a Grizzlebrand. Ouch. Can I do anything about that? I don't think I can do anything about that. I can play a Kroxa. That's about it. Ninja Brand. I can play Koth and add 3 red mana. I can play Koth and then animate a mountain and swing 7. I think that's my best bet, but oh man, is that gonna hurt. We Surveil. Skull Clamp. Yeah, you're not doing anything this time. Unfortunately, I think we are losing to a Teenage Mutant Ninja Grizzlebrand. Attack for 7. Oh, funny. Opponent doesn't block. I mean, like, maybe we do enough damage somehow? Okay, they're going to kill Koth. If I draw a Swamp, if somehow I draw a Swamp, and I can kill Grizzlebrand, there is a chance. Oh! Oh, we might be doing it. Put that on top. We need double black. You give me that Archon. You sacrifice that Grizzlebrand. Oh, thank goodness for no Spell Pierce. Oh my god, am I going to be saved by the Necromancy clutch? The Necromancy sideboard versus Reanimator. Oh, he just lost Grizzlebrand. Oh, this is amazing. And we get to draw the swamp. Like, oh, this is so good. Go to combat. Hit him for 3. Take him to 5. Opponent ditched a counter spell. Oh my gosh. Get him, Croxa. You tell him. And they already, like, repealed, so they can't, like, repeal Necromancy. Oh. Oh, that's so... I've never done that. I have never, in a game of Magic, sideboarded in a reanimation spell against a reanimator deck to take their threat. That is something I've never done before, and it's awesome. It's so sick. Okay, Seagate Stormcaller, Shallow Grave. To get back Umezawa and Grizzlebrand. This lets them survive, but they lose both of those guys at the end step. I'm not blocking. There's no way that I block that. I don't think they have an answer for Archon. Yeah, like Shallow Grave is good when you're Shallow Graving an Emrakul. Shallow Grave is less good when you're Shallow Graving a Grizzlebrand. It's still good, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't win on the spot usually, unless your opponent's at 7 or less life, and with no flying blockers or removal spells. Opponent pays 5, or pays 7 to draw 7. Plays a Mox Ruby and a Swamp. Show and Tell. Show and Tell Emrakul. Oh my gosh! Archon is going to Edict to them and they're going to die. Oh my gosh! Oh, we're going to give Lily the kill. Actually, that is unsafe because my opponent could have, they could have, like, Force of Will. They just drew 7 cards. So, I mean, like, Bloodchief's Thirst kill Yes! We did it! Oh, that's so amazing. I've never done anything that cool ever in a game of Magic. That is absolutely absurd. I'm super stoked. I have to go to sleep. It is late in the day. Let's open our treasure chest, see what we got. Oh, that's so hype. Concealed Courtyard, 20 play points. You know what? It's worth it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please, please, if you enjoy Vintage Cube, please continue watching these videos. They are so much fun to film. This is my favorite way to play Magic. If you like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I usually stream on Sundays, and you might see an odd stream here or there. And thank you so much for watching. You're all wonderful human beings, and I will see you all next time. Bye!